5 Februaries ago, I received an invitation from Oprah Winfrey to write a piece for what she was calling her Legends Weekend. The occasion had taken shape in her mind almost a year before, beginning life as a small luncheon and evolving into a 3-day event honoring 24 legendary African-American women whose lives and careers are what people mean when they use the term role model. She was also inviting 42 other women who she was calling the Youngins, and who would share with her this unique opportunity to celebrate this amazing group. To my surprise and great delight, not only had I been included among the Youngins, my 2, now 3 beautiful grandchildren notwithstanding, I was now being asked to write a piece that would express our collective thank you to our symbolic foremothers. I said I would be honored. So she sent me the names of the legends and the Youngins and left me to my own devices. Looking at the list, I immediately realized I didn't need to collect biographical information about these women. You could wake me up from a sound sleep in the middle of the night, and I could tell you not only who they are, but who they are to me. Oprah's list of honorees mirrored my own personal most admired list, from Maya Angelou to Nancy Wilson, and just reading their names stirred up a lifetime's worth of memories. I had danced to their music, been inspired by their courage, envied the artful arrangement of their words on paper, and torn their pictures out of magazines to post where I could see them bold and beautiful as they redefined style and substance and sisterhood. So I did what I always do. I started making notes. Enlisting my husband Zarin's assistance, I allowed the memories to come tumbling out in no particular order. By the time we returned home to Atlanta after a 2-week road trip, we don't like to fly. We had more than enough material, and I had enough sense to know that the piece was evolving into something more than a poem. It was becoming the sisterhood ritual that we needed. I wrote it in one long whoosh and sent it overnight mail to Ms. Oprah, who liked it as much as I did. My part was done. All I had to do now was find a ball gown I wouldn't trip over, pick up our train tickets to Santa Barbara, California, and get back to work on my novel. A month went by, and then suddenly it was time to go to California. The weekend, which was now officially known as a Brunch Now, a celebration of remarkable women in remarkable times, began with a luncheon at Oprah's home, to which only the legends and the youngins were invited. No dates, no spouses, no anxious publicists or protective mamas. It was just us. And somehow, in the absence of other people, we became a room full of free women, celebrating each other and ourselves and our sisterhood. The poem was read for the first time at that luncheon. That's where it came to life, in a small gazebo where we gathered to sing our praise song. Speaking on behalf of the Youngins, I joined Angela Bassett and Alfred Woodard and Felicia Rashad and Halle Berry in paying tribute to our legends. Beside us stood 6 of the younger Youngins: Mariah Carey, Janet Jackson, Alicia Keys, Ashanti, Mary J. Blige, and Missy Elliott, in a chorus that led us in the refrain, "We speak your names, we speak your names." And all around us were our sisters in the flesh, weeping and laughing and hugging each other in recognition of how amazing they truly are, and our sisters in the spirit, gone but never forgotten, celebrating with us and forgiving us completely for taking so long to call them back and tell them thank you. It was a moment when no one could deny the magic or describe it, so we didn't even try. The next night, we added the other youngins to our chorus, and at the Glittering Legends Ball, we offered the poem one more time as a parting gift before we all headed home the next day to our busy, separate lives, promising not to forget what had happened between us, promising to stay in touch, and then it was over. 3 days after I stood in Oprah's garden, surrounded by a feeling of connectedness, not only to the women whose names we had called, but to the ones whose spirits we had raised, whose names we never knew and never will. Zarin and I were driving home to Atlanta down Route 66. When we stopped for the night, I turned on the television and suddenly, there we were. Oprah's Legends Ball, live and in living color, as the lead story on Entertainment Tonight. It startled me. Not so much because I hadn't expected to see the event covered by the media, but because the story that I saw didn't get to the heart of the matter. Yes, there were stars. Yes, there were wonderful flowers and fabulous gowns and diamond earrings and designer shoes and caviar in silver spoons. The camera captured all of that perfectly. The only thing it missed was the presence of all those spirits who hadn't gone anywhere after that luncheon except right back to the ball with us. So that when we sang Ain't No Mountain High Enough, they sang it too. When we danced all night just because we could, they were dancing too. Which is the reason we're all smiling when you see us in those pictures. Because we do love our earrings, but in that one amazing moment, we loved each other more and more and more and more. Being a worrier by nature, I turned off the television and immediately began to wonder how long it would be before the real feeling faded. I wondered how long before I could only remember what happened, who wore what, and who sat where, but not what it felt like to be there. How long before it became a wonderful memory and nothing more. But we continued our journey home, and gradually the beauty of the landscape cleared my head, and the sweetness of the people we encountered soothed my soul. And at some point, I think it was when we stopped for the night just outside of Amarillo, Texas, I stopped worrying. In that blessed moment of calm, I read the poem to myself out loud, and the feeling from the gazebo came back strong. The more I read, the less I worried about what I might forget, and the more I understood that this is something I would always remember. Oprah calls it a praise poem. I call it a celebration for the same reason, because this piece is part of an oral tradition that goes back as far as we do. A tradition that grows out of an understanding that some things must be spoken out loud to get to where the magic is. This poem is like that. If it was a spell, I'd encourage you to cast it. Sisterhood in the service of truth is an undeniable force in these remarkable times. My sisters, my brothers, and my friends, here, there, and everywhere. This poem is for you. Use it, adapt it, pass it on. We speak your names, a celebration. Because we are free women, born of free women, who are born of free women back as far as time begins, we celebrate your freedom. Because we are wise women born of wise women, who are born of wise women, we celebrate your wisdom. Because we are strong women born of strong women, who are born of strong women, we celebrate your strength. Because we are magical women, born of magical women, who are born of magical women, we celebrate your magic. My sisters, we are gathered here to speak your names. We are here because we are your daughters, as surely as if you had conceived us, nurtured us, carried us in your wombs, and then sent us out into the world to make our mark and see what we see and be what we be, but better, truer, deeper, because of the shining example of your own incandescent lives. We are here to speak your names because we have enough sense to know that we did not spring full-blown from the forehead of Zeus, or arrive on the scene like Topsy, our sister once removed, who somehow just growed. We know that we are walking in footprints made deep by the confident strides of women who parted the air before them like the forces of nature that you are. We are here to speak your names because you taught us that the search is always for the truth, and that when people show us who they are, we should believe them. We are here because you taught us that Sister Speak can continue to be our native tongue, no matter how many languages we learn as we move about as citizens of the world and of the ever-evolving universe. We are here to speak your names because of the way you made for us, because of the prayers you prayed for us. We are the ones you conjured up, hoping we would have strength enough and discipline enough and talent enough and nerve enough to step into the light when it turned in our direction and just smile a while. We are the ones you hoped would make you proud, because all